guys, that's your Reveiw Legends. Welcome to the video. Sending some love, some positive vibes your way, especially if you need it out there today. Before we get to the best ally attackers, the top 15 ally attackers in Raid Shadow Legends here in 2025, when ally attack has never been stronger than it is today. And then it'll get even stronger next month, and the month after, and the month after, because new and compelling and super strong A1's basic abilities keep getting introduced to the game. Thus, every ally attacker in the game, even the old school ones, just get better over time. Before we jump into it, though, is that time of month, guys? Is that time of quarter? Year? I need your recommendations right now because I'm just finishing up Severance. I binged the hell out of that show. High recommendations. I want to talk about it a little bit with you guys, but I don't want to give spoilers, so I won't. But I need a new show now to replace here. And I don't know. I'm waiting on White Lotus till the season's over. But anyway, any book, TV show recommendations, movie recommendations would be awesome. Let's jump into, I saw a movie actually recently. What is it called? That's the big question. What is it called? It is A Different Man, and boy, it was a weird movie, but very thought-provoking. If you like kind of slow movies, thought-provoking, then check it out, A Different Man. Anyway, guys, let's jump into it. The reason that you clicked on the video, not for movie advice, suggestions, advice, solicitation, rather for ally attackers. Let's start at number 15 on our list here. Man, there's some good new ally attackers on this list as well. Number 15, not necessarily a new champion, but she does barely crack onto the list, and that is cesca, Grail Bearer. Really underrated champion. I'm actually seeing her occasionally. I'm still top 50. I'm hanging on to life in the live arena seasons, but I know I'm going to fall out of it soon. But I actually see some players, some endgame players running her because of this A2 ability. Poison Cloud, increased speed, continuous heal, and 50% turn meter fill. Very, very good ability. But she also has a solid ally attack on her A1. It's only one ally, but it's the ally with the highest crit damage joining the attack to attack the enemy with the lowest HP. It's actually kind of a nice move to have, not only in Hydra, but even in the arena. Very interesting champion. She can also apply her decreased defense and weaken through block debuffs buffs. I think she's an underrated champion. She's very, very good. Very fast too, 110 base speed. I put her at number 15 over a Marichka. Not that she's better than Marichka, but I like that she has, Marichka's just a random ally joining if Taurus isn't on the team, whereas in cesca's the ally, excuse me, with the highest crit damage. So she made the list at number 15.
Look at him. His stupid face.
Yeah, he looks great. No, well rested.
He looks worse.
At number 14 is another ability like that. And I don't have this champion, but Highkeeper Prizma is really cool. I've said it like 10 times now, but man, I'm just digging the blue vibe. I'm digging the blue shield. Something about that royal blue, it's just beautiful. Anyway, he is a reviver, right? On a 4-turn cooldown, 75% HP, 75% turn meter, increase attack and perfect veil on them for 2 turns as well. But it's really the A2 that we're talking about in today's video, and that is the Shining Blitz. Attacks one enemy. Before attacking, it removes all the buffs from the target, setting him up for the kill here, right? So good against tanky units. The ally with the highest critical damage will team up and join the attack. The ally joining the attack will use their default skill and ignore 35% of the target's defense. That is juicy. If the enemy is killed by the ally joining the attack, activates an instant turn effect on the ally. Man, that's money. That's a really cool ability. You strip away their buffs, the ally with the highest crit damage joins in the attack, extra ignore defense. If you get the kill, boom, instant turn on your nuker. That's really strong for a single target ally attack. Man, I'm thinking maybe I should have put him a little bit higher, you know? That instant turn, that's really strong. Okay, so number 13 on the list is going to be Catacomb Counselor. So Catacomb Counselor is the forgotten ally attacker, an old school ally attacker, epic from the Undead Horde. Now, very slow, base speed at 92, but has Army of Death. It's a 4-turn cooldown, teams up with 3 random allies to attack a single enemy. The allies joining obviously will use their default skill, has an increased attack on this champion on the A1 ability, and he's joining in on the attack. So in an arena team, you get all 4 of them, all 4 of your entire team joining in on that attack. So I think, again, kind of an underrated ally attacker. I also like that he has a triple hit on the A2. Some of the more niche levels in Cintranos of Fire Knight. I actually use Catacomb Counselor on a few of my teams, so not a bad epic champion coming in at 13. Another epic at number 12, and it's Dirty Diana. Yeah, Diana Gloompiercer. Very interesting ally attack slash nuker, right? Has a decreased defense on the A1 ability, has a pretty hard-hitting AoE on the A3, but then teams up with 2 random allies to attack a single enemy on the ally attack. Now, this Moonlight Ambuscade is actually on a 3-turn cooldown. That's really powerful. 3-turn cooldown, teams up, potentially placing that decreased defense, right, on the enemies. And then, if the target's under a decreased defense, these attacks will ignore 20% of the target's defense. It doesn't have to be her setting up with a decreased defense, but that juicy 3-ally attack, including herself, with the ignore defense, that's really good. Like, really solid ally attacker added in Diana. Number 11 on the list. Some of you guys might disagree with me here, but it's Krilla Witch Arm. Kind of low for Krilla, and I actually like Krilla. Krilla has a really decently hard-hitting AoE on the A3, sets up your entire team with increased attack and increased crit rate for 3 turns on a 4-turn cooldown. Not bad at all. No passive, no aura. She feels a little bit more on the old school side. She does have a Binding Glow, though. It's a 3-turn cooldown, which is amazing. It's a stun on the enemy, and then 3 random allies will join in on the ally attack. Now, it's only 3 allies. It's not a complete ally attack, but she does join the attack, and you have the stun. It's a very good ability. You can let me know if you put somebody ahead of her, or if you put her ahead of somebody else over her on the list. You guys get what I'm saying. All right, number 10. This was a tough one with that last champion, with Krilla, but I'm actually putting Morag at number 10. I'm putting Morag over Krilla. Is that crazy? I don't think so. You get so much damage on Morag. She ignores shields on her A1, and she counterattacks when hit while under a strengthened buff placed by this champion. That's a lot of counterattacks, right? She also is still the only epic champion in the game to have the big version of Strengthen on a 3-turn cooldown on an AoE, decently hard-hitting ability on Outrage, and then she has the Raider Captain, teams up with 2 random allies to attack a single enemy, grants an extra turn if the enemy is killed. So maybe not the strongest ally attack, and that's basically what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to grade mainly on the power of the ally attack, with maybe, I don't know, 75% the power of the ally attack, and then 25% the power of the champion in terms of factoring in these rankings and these scores. Either way, you can't go wrong with Morag. She's amazing. Number 9 on the list is going to be an old school, and that is Lanakis. Lanakis the Chosen is not even a nice Revenant, Ash. She's a Dark Elf, bro. What are you doing here? She's so old school, I forgot even what faction she's in. Kind of has that old school flavor with no aura and no passive.
What about you, old man?
I feel like most champions that come out nowadays for legendaries have the aura and the passive as well. She has an increased crit rate, increased attack on all allies with a chance of granting an extra turn, which can actually screw things up on like old school Demon Lord speed tune teams. Getting that extra turn, sometimes you have to just shut the Banner of Legends off because of that RNG. She does have a nice ally attack, though. It teams up with 3 random allies on a 4-turn cooldown when booked. So not the strongest, but she has a fill the turn meter of all allies by 30% and increase the duration of all ally buffs by 1 turn. So a buff extension and a juicy turn meter increase on that A2 ability. It's a really good ally attack. The rest of her kit, though, is really lacking, you know? So Lanakis comes in at number 9. At number 8 on the list is going to be Longbeard. Now we're getting into kind of a new class of ally attackers, right? All these champions from here on out are nasty. Can really change your account, in terms of ally attackers at least, right? Longbeard is like a damage maximizer. The cool thing is all these ally attackers from here on out too, they have like a very niche role where they're best utilized in. Longbeard would be blender comps or sheer raw damage added to your team, right? Through a few different mechanisms. Number one is we mitigate the damage penalty by getting a damage increase on ally attacks by 20%. He's attacking one enemy with 4 allies, so he'll join in the attack. He hits very hard, harder than any other ally attacker I want to say on this list today. And he brings the big version of Weaken for 2 turns on a 2-turn cooldown. A beautiful A2 ability, and it hits very, very hard. Again, he brings a lot of damage. He ignores shields, and he ignores block damage. With so many Odins out there, I mean, heck, you get block damage all over the place. Nices, Siegfrieds. You can use a Longbeard. I feel like you could even use him in the arena a little bit more nowadays to mitigate some of that. But yeah, raw damage and a lot of it on Longbeard. Okay, number 7 on the list is our last epic on the list, our first or highest epic on the list, and it's Fat Man. This should tell you how much I love Fat Man. I think he's incredible. I almost put him even a spot higher at number 6. And you got, it's close, right? Beatdown is so good. Everybody except for him join on this attack, so he cannot join on his, which is a shame because he has the big version of decreased defense on his A1. Still nice to have, don't get me wrong. But increased crit rate, increased crit damage, all allies except this champion for 3 turns, then all allies except this champion will attack 1 target enemy. Very strong. All ally attacks are very strong, and the reason he's a little bit higher than some of the other champions is because my man brings burns and poisons. So HP burn and 2 poisons for 2 turns on 1 enemy on a 3-turn cooldown. There's so many areas of this game where you need poisons, but more importantly, HP burns. So he has those 2 like essential damage dealing debuffs, and then the decreased defense on top of that, and the all-ally attack. So Fat Man, yeah, he's deserving of his spot at number 7, maybe even number 6. I went ahead and I put Lonatharil at number 6 on the list. I love Lonatharil. I'm an unabashedly card-carrying member of the Lonatharil clan club. What, bro? Fan club. What am I talking about? Clan club. Cut that.
Maybe next time you'll think before you speak.
All right. So Lonatharil has an AoE, a really nice juicy shield based on his max HP, a 3-turn duration on a 3-turn cooldown, a very strong ally attack, and deals a little bit of damage too. And then Finest Hour. It's a simple ally attack, but it's very, very strong. It's an increased crit damage on all allies for 2 turns on a 4-turn cooldown, then teams up with every single ally you've got to attack a single enemy. So it's a straight up all ally, including Lonatharil. That makes him brilliant for Fire Knight because you're going to get those extra hits. He has a shield and some destroy targets max HP as well on his A1, and then HP and Doom Tower battles. Okay. When his passive inflicts 20% more damage to targets under shields as well. And man, he looks pretty cool. I like this design. I like the gold and the black kind of motif going on here. At number 5 on our list is going to be kind of a bit of an unorthodox selection here, and that is Nekhret the Great. Nekhret is so good, man. He's kind of like, he's nothing like Krisk, but he's kind of like one of those champions like Krisk that if you're lucky enough to pull this Void Legendary, they can really change your account. I'm not just talking the arena where he is known, especially in the end game, and he's making a big comeback in the arena in the end game right now as well, but just that setup is just money, right? The block debuffs, the strength, and the ally protection for 6 turns, and the ally protection is protected at the start of the round, right? I mean, that's really strong in the arena. And then his Legion of the Damned is very unique, his ally attack. Teams up with allies to attack 1 enemy. By the way, he brings a triple hitter with decreased attack on his A1 that can't be resisted. Very strong A1 that he is joining in on. All allies under ally protection buffs placed by this champion will join the attack. You get an extra turn if no enemies are killed during the attack. And then on his A3, it all kind of comes together with a block debuff, ally protection, and is strengthened for 3 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. Ally protection that he casts, again, are protected. They cannot be removed. The cool thing is, though, is whenever an ally is attacked by under an ally protection buff by this champion, they get a shield equal to 30% of this champion's max HP and decrease the cooldown of this champion's Legion of the Damned by 2 turns if the shield is placed. The Legion of the Damned is the ally attack. That means you can get back to it super, super fast. It all creates this snowball effect, this butterfly effect of Nekhret the Great. Butterfly effect, kind of an underrated movie, little bit. No, not really. I don't know what I feel about that movie, but I liked it back in the day a lot. Anyways, Ashton Kutcher in it? I don't know.
Can we not digress?
Nekhret the Great is the man, all right? He's at number 5. Number 4 on the list, this is where things get really difficult. Number 4 is going to be Cardiel. Now, last time I did an ally attacker, which was a year and a half ago, a tier or a ranking or whatever, Cardiel was number 2. He's number 4 now, and it's not really a knock in any way against Cardiel. He's still one of the best champions out there in the game. He's still a champion that no one is going to be displeased to see coming out of a Void Shard. He's got the speed on the aura. He's got the mitigation on the passive. He's got that beautiful cleanse with the revive on death, protected revive on death, and the block debuffs, all in a 3-turn cooldown. A beautiful support A2. It makes him so unique versus almost every other champion on the list. I say almost. And then Heavenly Host. His ally attack is an increased crit rate, increased crit damage. And then he teams up with all allies to attack a target enemy. Decrease the cooldown of the skill by 1 turn if an enemy is killed from the attack, bringing it from a 4 to maybe a 3-turn cooldown. He's got a nice little heal on his A1 as well. And again, he's joining in on that attack, so you can get a little healage there as well. A beautiful blend of support and ally attack can help you out almost everywhere. Still one of the more versatile champions in all of Raid Shadow Legends. Number 3 is going to be a champion I don't have, but boy, am I sick of going against her. Queen of Hearts is endgame meta. She's actually meta everywhere in this game. She's so strong, and boy, I wish I had her. Let's start with a passive really quickly. Hail to the Queen! For every 10 buffs the enemy team receives, grants this champion an extra turn. That's so annoying because if you use one of those self-buffing abilities when you're going against her in the arena, for example, you might accidentally get your extra turn, but she might cut in line because you have one too many buffs. You have to be very careful when going against the Queen of Hearts on any buffing ability. And that's just the start, right? She has a full removal of all buffs on all enemies, Death Brand, which makes them, the initial target, which makes them block revive if they die with the debuff on, and a True Fear on all enemies for 1 turn, fills his champion's turn meter for each buff removed by this skill as well, and then the Queenly Command teams up with all allies to attack a single enemy. Before attacking, places an increased attack on all allies for 2 turns. Only 2 champions in the game place an increased attack on their ally attack. And one of them is going to be coming up in just a moment here. Very strong. Decrease the cooldown of this champion's off with their heads. That's the A2 ability. By 2 turns if the target's killed. So you can open up with this, remove the buffs, True Fear your enemies, come in with the Queenly Command, and then you can go right back to the A2 again. And then she's joining up on the ally attack with all allies, right? With another AoE with decreased defense and turn meter fill. Oh my word. Man, do you think she should be number 2? Queen of Hearts is incredibly strong. But I put her at number 3 because number 2 I'm actually going to give to Grand Oak. Grand Oak padraig, man, this dude is such a monster. He's such a monster. Now, Queen of Hearts is a bit better in PvP, just a bit better, I will say. She's not like head and shoulders better, but she is, with that A2, it's nasty in the synergy there. But Grand Oak is better, in my opinion, in PvE, and still very capable. Both these champions are very capable. So I decided to give it to Grand Oak, long story short. He has speed and donus by 25%. He's very fast. 112 base speed on this dude. He's got a nasty little A1 ability, 50% chance when booked, of decreasing the cooldown of a random ally skills by 2 turns. This is just his A1 ability. That's nasty. The cool thing is when we go to his ally attack, teams up with all allies to attack a single enemy. The allies joining will use their default skills, restores allies destroyed HP, plays a continuous heal on all allies for 2 turns as well. The fact that he's joining in on the attack also has a 50% chance to reduce the cooldown of an random ally skills by 2 turns on his A1 and his A2 by proxy by the fact that he's going in on the ally attack. And then he has this beautiful beautiful, beautiful turn meter fill, a full cleanse, and an increased speed, all on a 3 freaking turn cooldown. And we haven't even got to the best part yet. He has the Grand Oak's magic. At the start of this dude's turn, he's going to place a buff on everybody. That's exactly what they need. Increase attack on your attack base, defense on your defense base, accuracy on your supports, shield on your HP based champions. Oh my word. Yeah, I stand by my ranking. This is just busted. Grand Oak is just one of the best out there in the game, but still number 1 in my opinion is Lady Mikage. She's still number 1. It's going to be hard to dethrone Lady Mikage. They're going to have to come out with a champion that has like an ally attack. Every enemy killed by this champion or by this skill gets denied revival or something just busted like that to dethrone Mikage, the Spider Woman, the proverbial Spider Woman. Yeah, her alternate form is cool with control and increased accuracy and buff removal and all that stuff, but we're here to talk about the base form because she's a double ally attacker. First of all, she got Silken Snare, doing all the buff and debuff manipulation that you could possibly want in 1 3-turn cooldown. And then she has the Imperial Decree. Oof, it's the best setup, right? Because she has increased attack and increased crit damage that she's bringing to her ally attack. Thus, we are absolutely min-maxing any damage that we could possibly want from the allies joining in on the attack, who, by the way, are everybody. She's also going to team up from herself, which procs a shield, which is nice. This is, again, 4-turn cooldown. It's just the best ally attack in the game. But we're not done yet, because on her A1, attacks 1 enemy with 1 random ally from the Shadowkin faction. Man, she has another mini ally attack. It's faction-based, but it just so happens some of the best damage dealers in the game are in the Shadowkin faction alongside our number 1 today in Mikage, right? Toshiro the Bloody being number 1, but even Ninja, he can apply his decreased defense, joining up, and all of those attacks really add up. But this doesn't just stop there. There's Harimas, there's Michinakis, there's Genzins, there's even a Ieyasu. There's a lot of options, even a Genbo, or an Aboro, right? There's so many strong attacks or champions from the Shadowkin faction that you can combo with Mikage to get even more out of this amazing, amazing ally attacker. So there you go, guys. Those are the 15 ally attackers in Raid Shadow Legends here midway, almost through 2025. Thanks for watching till the end of the video. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.